Meanwhile, I've already paid for this ticket through Egypt. My dad was born in Egypt, and he was like, that place is terrible. Don't do it. Send him to every place in the world, but not through Egypt.
It's really funny.
I'm literally going like, yeah, no, that's good. That's good advice.
Hello and welcome to the Carpool Guys podcast, where three dads just trying their best talk about life, work, family, and all the detours in between. We've made mistakes, lots of mistakes, but we've also learned a few things along the way. We don't have it all figured out, but that's never stopped us from sharing our 2 cents anyway. The Carpool Guys podcast is hosted by Asher Dwaretsky, John Ackerman, and Dave from Flatbush Tenenbaum. Buckle up, it's carpool time. All right, boys, we've done it. We have achieved fame and notoriety. We are the #1 Jewish podcast on Good Pods.
Where?
Not totally sure what Good Pods is, but we're #1.
What's Good Pods?
Good Pods is like a podcast recommending and ranking website, and under the category of Judaism, we are the #1 ranked podcast right now.
So in second place is what?
In second place,
I mean, all the really good pods are on like the amazing pods.
Right.
this is just
We're like the
good.
NIT of pods.
So #2, we're the NIT. #2 is Lechayot Chasidut. Amrei Chasidut is the #2 ranked.
And we're #1.
We're #1.
Wow, Mazel tov. I mean, I'll take any #1.
We're the 1 seed. I guess it's good for March Madness, right?
So
we are the
not-
1 seed.
It's not like we're like #2. We're not #1 and #2 is meaningful people.
No.
No. They asked Beshefkin, and he's like, "Nah, I'd rather not be in it if I'm not in the one."
They're sitting this one out.
Wow. Okay, fair enough.
Hey, we're #1 at something. It's good
At
to
something.
be 1.
John, you have some shout outs you want to give to the world.
I do. Mazel tov to friend of the show, Jackie Simon, co-host of the Such a Good Call podcast and real life friend of ours on the birth of a baby girl. Mazel tov, Jackie.
Oh, wow.
Very
I
excited.
mean, I'm looking forward to meeting this Jackie, but you can't say a friend of ours. I don't know who she is from a whole nother.
I mean, I feel like they did not ask me to guest host the Such a Good Call podcast.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like I know her from a whole lot.
Are you guys offering that while Jackie is on maternity leave
I
that
think
we should join in?
Why shouldn't we? I mean, saying we're #1 on the
Yeah, she should ask us to be on.
pod.
Yeah, right.
Stuff.
According to Good Pods, I think
Good
they would
Pods.
suggest that we join any of those shows. Meaningful people. We could be the new meaningful people.
I don't think
Meaningfuler.
so.
Anyway, as we move on to the next part of the pod, Asher and I had the opportunity to sit down with Rabbi Ouriel Hazan, head of school for HANC West Hempstead, along with his son Eli Hazan, who recently returned from Yeshiva in Israel at Mevaseret. And we're going to hear a little bit about Eli's journey back home, what he had to go through, how they brought him back. And I know this is a hot topic right now. People are talking about, should kids be coming back? Should they be staying in Israel? But we're going to hear about it both from Eli's perspective as somebody who wanted to come home and from Rabbi Hazan's perspective of a parent. And what do you do as a parent when your kids are in a situation, it's not ideal, it's far from ideal, and you want to bring your kids home? So here's the interview, Rabbi Ouriel Hazan and his son Eli talking about Eli's return from Israel back to New York. Right, we are here live. I guess we can say it's live from the Carpool Guys studio.
Yeah.
This is our studio. Yeah, our
This is where the magic happens.
It is where the magic happens, also known as my dining room. But we are welcoming 2 very, very chashuv guests. We have Rabbi Ouriel Hazan, head of school for HANC West Hempstead, and his son, Eli Hazan, who has recently returned from Mevaseret, correct?
Yes.
In Israel. And I understand you guys have some stories to tell.
Yeah, I guess the first question I have is, what's the name of this podcast?
We were number one on Good Pods last week.
God.
Not that there are any other podcasts on Good Pods, but we were number one on Jewish Good Pods.
I did turn down Joe Rogan.
Oh.
So I was told, and then I came here and I was like excited for like a professional.
I'm not one to
studio
make comments about other people's life decisions,
Sure.
but you probably should have gone on Joe Rogan.
Yeah, no, but I mean, okay, just this one's different. Obviously, it's like a different type of style. But in case I need someone to like research, you guys have your own Jamie,
Yes.
right? Where I could just like say, hey, look that up for us in the middle of the podcast. I just want to establish.
Our Jamie is like, I don't even want Siri. I'm saying Siri. Hopefully my phone is not like going into Siri mode.
Okay, so cool. You have
But
Siri
it's
like
funny.
everybody else.
Asher mentioned there's this website called Good Pods.
Yeah.
And we're listed on them like we would be with all these other podcasts.
That's
Other
impressive.
podcasts.
There are, but not, I guess, a lot, because they sent me this really exciting email. Congratulations, you guys are number 2 in all of the Jewish podcasts. We're like, wow, number 2, that's pretty good. And then you look at like who's number 3, and it's like these things like no one's ever heard of them before. So it's like, all right, good.
Jamie, pull up number 3.
Yeah.
Actually, I'd like to see what that. Wait, first of all, from a Jewish perspective, being like you want to be able to tell your mom that you did something amazing and impressive.
Yes.
But if you're only able to say that you're listed on good pods.
Yeah, we try to be
Like,
good
you're-
enough.
Is that enough
You
for
know,
your
you're
parents?
good enough.
Because that would not be enough for my parents. Like
Yeah.
I would have to make it onto excellent pods.
Thank you. My mother listens, and so does Asher's parents. Listen to every episode.
You should be
not
very
every episode.
proud.
Not every
They're
episode.
very good Jewish boys.
They're very good Jewish boys.
96% of our listeners are Duretskis, I believe, or,
Yeah, that's
or used to be Duretskis.
So anyway, the most important thing for us to address at the head of this is that this is something that has been talked about a lot on social media. We want to hear just the story. What was your experience like? What was your decision process of going through this process of sending Ellie in the way that you did? What was the parenting decision about it? Sure. And what is life going on in Israel? Because the truth is, as much as it's an interesting story, every one of us would have to make a different decision for ourselves. And it's very nice. We all want to, be armchair decision makers, but it was your decision to make. So we're just curious about that. I think the spoiler alert is you did go through Egypt.
Yes.
I imagine that was not your initial decision for Ellie to come back for Pesach in that way.
Definitely not.
No,
Though you are Sephardim.
We looked at a lot of different countries.
There's Egypt in the blood, actually.
Yeah, that's true. We are Egyptian.
Going to the homeland.
Back.
Can't say that.
But no, we looked at a lot of different countries. Rwanda,
Jordan was a good one.
Darfur.
Jordan was up there.
But none of the connections really worked. No, this was really not our first choice at all. And I have to say, I will address, I guess, also that we have had many conflicting feelings about this. And I think our calculus changed in the middle. But our initial idea, we had ideas about Ellie staying in Israel originally.
This was before the war?
Yeah, before the war, just
Okay.
that. But then we were like, you know what? Because again, I'll let you talk about the year you're having at Mevaseret, but he was doing great, and like there was not necessarily like, oh, we have to be all together. I stayed in Israel, my year in Israel. That was like one of the greatest decisions.
What did you do?
So I had the best time. We just had, I had just learned the tshuva of Rav Ovadia Yosef that if you spend 3 regalim in Eretz Yisrael, that you don't have to keep 2 days.
Wow.
And
Incredible.
I just was like soaking up the Shabbos goy. I was just like, bro, do you need me to turn on your light? He's like, can you please let me sleep? I'm like, but I can turn on your light. And then we went with some friends.
How many
to
people
like
asked you,
Netanya.
is that because you're Sephardi? Or like...
I was really enjoying also explaining to people, learning the tshuva together with people. It was actually really an
I could
amazing
totally
thing.
see you doing that.
I was very excited.
Okay.
And then we went with some guys down to like Netanya for Chol HaMoed. It was just very spiritual, a lot of fun. It had all the elements together. But once we decided that we're going to LA, when we looked at the whole schedule, also, by the way, I don't know if you know this, but we are still in school, still working.
Right.
We have school. Our break doesn't start till we're going through till Friday.
Right.
in yeshiva, they give about 4 months of Pesach.
Right.
It is true.
I don't. So this was new. So once we realized, wait a second, like we need to come up with a plan for Ellie. Is he going to go to Poland for some kind of like heritage trip? Or is he going to do
his Sephardi heritage to go to Poland?
I was like, can we like assign new heritage to him? Like whatever.
So in a way,
Exactly.
The end, we're like, okay, let's do the real heritage.
oh my god.
I checked every box.
That's so funny.
great.
And then, or he's going to do Yom Liyam, and because you need to fill up like 2 weeks before the 3 weeks of Pesach. So that's when we were like, okay, that's a lot of time, and maybe we'll just bring him home. That was a simple choice at that point. I was looking at, Travelocity, and like, you guys are sponsored, right?
We should
Do I
be
need
by
to say
Travelocity.
Travelocity? Yeah.
They are our sponsor.
Yeah, okay,
Sure.
Yes.
fine.
Definitely.
And
Right,
thank you to them.
Travelocity, and we'll just send your travel vouchers here.
Yes.
Also, Apple sponsors us. Which
Apple,
is,
wow.
Also,
That's how you guys get
and Samsung.
the executives at Samsung were like, get us the number 2 podcast on the good podcast. Get us the number 2 guys. That's the niche we need to break into. No, I went on there and I also had Delta points and Delta. So I was like, you know what, let's just go. And Delta was like, honestly, like $200 or $300 cheaper.
Right.
I bring all this up because foreshadowing, El Al was at some point the only flight in and out. And
Right.
it was just like, where you start to second and triple guess every decision you make. So it was a simple idea. Here's a direct flight from Tel Aviv to New York, and let's have a normal Pesach.
That sounds so boring.
Yeah, but totally so boring. And so the director's cut is much more extreme.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're in Mevaseret.
Yes.
How's it going there?
It's going great, honestly. I'm having a
going
great
great.
year.
And you're happy.
Yeah.
You love
very
it.
happy. Loving it.
You're gonna stay there forever. You're welcome, Rabbi. For that one.
Breaking.
You're welcome.
Breaking right here live on this podcast.
Yes. So you're having a great year. Everything is going well, Baruch Hashem. And then we get to this point in the year where the war breaks out.
Right. Yeah, I mean, at some point we were just trying to figure out like which week it was going to happen because like we knew it was imminent at some point, and it was just like, is it going to be like today, tomorrow? When's it going to break out? And I think it was a Motzei Shabbat, or no, it was
Shabbos.
It was Shabbat. That it
Everything
broke out.
happens on Shabbos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All good news happens on Shabbos.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think it broke out. The first siren was the middle of Shachrit, or it was like right that morning for us, or something like that. And yeah, I mean, that whole Shabbat was pretty scary, just because like nobody knew anything. Like only the Madrikim had their phones, and they like I don't know, they weren't showing us anything. But I mean, it was a lot. I think we had like a bunch of sirens that week, and it was really clutch because that week was an in Shabbat. Like thankfully, like and only a handful of kids were out. But if it wasn't, where everyone's scattered, it would have been crazy for people to get back. And then we had like a couple guys who were in Tel Aviv where it was really bad in the beginning, and they had a much harder time getting back, and it was a much scarier story for them. But thankfully for most of the yeshiva was in. But yeah, that first Shabbat was pretty scary.
So that's the first Shabbat. How does normal yeshiva life then go after it started?
I mean, well, when we're already there, everything is within walking distance. And then we have like mamads and we have like safe rooms in yeshiva, and they're relatively close. But the bigger problem is the Rebbeim. And like the question was now if do the Rebbeim
because they live off
they're
campus.
They're in Beit Shemesh mostly.
Right.
We got a couple of Rebbeim on campus, but like it's not a lot. And that was the big question at that point: is are the Rebbeim going to make the trip over? And they're a lot less scared than we were. They all, basically every single one of them came. They have like a little Rebbe van. They all showed up, which was pretty awesome.
It's amazing. I mean, it's the resiliency of people who live in Israel to say, "Oh, no problem.
Yeah,
we're just going to all go from Beit
way too
Shemesh."
chill about it. It's like a war, and they're like, all right, whatever happened like last week, it doesn't matter.
Right.
I am picturing a Rebbe van
With all the Rebbes.
with like payas and like a beard, like a van that has a beard,
It's like magic school bus.
And a novelty school and a novelty horn.
Right.
I could see people like just going and showing up also. Like it also, they are your de facto parents when you're there, and they also feel protective of you even though they have their own children. They also are protective of you. Right. So how long is, like, what was life like? Was it more or less normal?
To be honest, it felt pretty normal. I mean, because the Rebbe were there, so like we had regular shirim and like. I mean, none of the major schedule was disrupted. It was just like every once in a while you had to run to the mamad or whatever. But
how often is once in a while?
I mean, in the first couple of weeks, it was probably like once or twice a day, and they picked the similar times pretty much every day. It was like once during shir, and then once like right before you go to sleep. So it got pretty consistent for some reason. I don't know.
Are you proud of him that he's very scheduled and rigorous like that?
I have to tell you.
Well, Iran was great.
I'll answer this seriously. I'm super proud. I'm super proud of the perspective, the maturity, and the headstrong, because it was a very scary time. I will say this, maybe you can speak to this, but the beginning of the war had our phone calls were more, I guess, in that, like in this kind of vibe, like, oh, it's chill, oh, we get to go to the mamad. It did change at some point.
Yeah.
Right. It seems to be that it's like wearing on you, right?
Yeah, I mean, like it was the first week was like bad, and then it kind of slowed down, and then it like picked up again, like
in intensity. I know we all were watching that.
I mean, we would go like days or like very long periods without any sirens or anything, and then it just like picked up again, and we would get like 2 or 3 a day again.
Mm-hmm. When did you start to realize, we're getting closer to Pesach, and now our plans are really starting to fall into doubt? Meaning, okay, this all happened around Purim time, and when there's these flares, there's like a sense of, all right, it's going to be short. The day after tomorrow, it could all be over and done with. Yeah. But now it started to drag on. What was it like, and when did you start to realize this might start to bleed into...
we were very hopeful that it was going to be like the last one, which was like, I think 12 days or something like that. And that was like, we were hoping it was going to be the same kind of story. And we were still like, I think 2.5 weeks out, 2 weeks out from Pesach. And we were hoping that like it wasn't going to affect it. Some people were like, oh my God, everything's over. Like we're not going home ever. And then some people were kind of like, this will be done like in 5 days. Like it'll be fine. But like every day went by, it kind of was more like penting up, like this is getting kind of close. People were kind of like panicking also. They were like, oh my God, I need like 4 backup flights, and I need like...
I've been hearing that story also.
I need like
flight canceled,
9 flights on different days. Right. Yeah, because everyone was terrified, and then people's flights started to get canceled, and that's when things really started to ramp. People were starting doing the most insane layovers in like 9 different countries. Like, wow. Yeah, and like it was pretty insane.
I'll say that the perspective we had was trying to gauge where Ellie's feelings were, how he was dealing with it. It was a lot of sleepless nights because these sirens were not necessarily during the day. It was 2-3 hour intervals. Right. So like that lack of sleep started playing into the emotional impact.
Absolutely.
Those couple weeks were bad sleep also, because like just sirens at 2-3 a.m. and ended up diving Nate's a bunch because it woke us up around that time.
Right. I'll tell you, like we're on these chats, and just the sheer chaos, panic, and
which makes it worse, right?
But it has a cumulative effect,
right?
Where it's interesting. It's very innocent. Parents are just trying to be supportive and helpful and informative, but they're also
pouring gasoline.
Yeah, exactly. Where it just becomes it's like, I just booked 3 tickets on Arkia and 2 tickets on, Air Canada. Oh, and then Arkia, is that really owned by Palestine? Like 100 comments every day. You could not refresh fast enough.
That's really
stressful. And you could not keep up with what these parents were doing. And again, there's nothing to stand in the way of a Jewish parent and what they're willing to do to make sure that their child is protected. And again, ironically, I'm not sure, but I would say that when we were calling and trying to get flights, and they were saying, no, that flight is completely booked, and I just got this text coming through as I'm there. I just bought 3 tickets there, and you're like, oh, maybe it's all booked because our own chat is buying all of these
just
seats
like panic buying
by accident, and we've accidentally priced ourselves out of any options. these memes are accurate. These memes where like you see like I didn't know I would have to become a travel agent.
Right.
And that literally is true. We were calling, we were also asking travel agents because, if you had a travel agent, then you had like a professional in your corner. I think that that's where I would say 2 weeks in where the bombing was intense and the airports were closing, and then airlines were and weren't declaring that they were flying in or not.
Right.
And there was a lot of validity in the wait and see strategy,
Right.
of like, I do have a valid Delta flight.
Yeah.
And they have not informed me that anything is changing.
Yeah, that was the problem. I mean, they canceled only like a day or two before.
Yeah. And there was also this hope, like you were saying, that the war would be it wouldn't be this long.
Right, that was the hope.
I think we're all surprised at how long the war has gone on. But it gets to a point where you're right. There's tremendous stress, especially for you guys. And you get now to this point where your flight probably is now becoming less and less a reality. Right. So what became Plan B?
I would say even just the impetus for Plan B was, because again, I think, like I said, the good faith effort of we have a flight, they haven't canceled it, maybe we wait, was also a strategy in terms of like, why panic? Why panic?
That was our idea for like the first.
Why panic
few days.
Why panic the guy? Why panic but the situation kept shifting, and this is what I think is what people don't fully understand, about why people make these decisions. The sand is shifting beneath your feet, so there's a feeling of I need to be decisive here, because decisive wins the day that I chose something, that I did something.
Yeah.
Because at the home base where Ellie is, guys are declaring that I'm leaving tomorrow, or I got on this rescue mission flight. Right. Funny questions like. I'd be texting with people like I don't know what to do, and people are like, do you know Bruce Blakeman? Like, why does he fly to Israel? No, but he has connections. Like, who can you get to talk to? And it was all about these like get on the rescue mission.
Yeah, that was also one of the options. It was like just fill out as many of these like rescue things as possible and hope that one of them gets back to you, and they're only flying one plane.
The truth is that I think is a funny that one. I like the words the rescue mission. I could see that as also
we applied to like 9 different things.
We did, and every time I clicked rescue my son, it was so bizarre that I would even say that because obviously we don't need to be rescued from Israel.
Right.
And we don't need your help to rescue my child, right? He's not in a state that he needs to be rescued. Right. I need a flight, bro. That's what I need. Right. Like, can you help me with that?
What you're trying to do is you're trying to put your son in a situation where he can be with his family, just like anybody would want to be on Pesach. And it's not about this bigger conversation, which maybe some people could have, and you want to talk about the cloud. We're not having that conversation necessarily.
You nailed it on the head. I am not looking to make giant sweeping declarations of my emunah or like ratifying my position on Israel. I'm trying to get him home. And the reason I'm trying to get him home, not home, like the concept, but to his family.
Right. Home
for
is
Pesach,
Israel, but
home is Israel. For all of us, is because the calculus changed. When Ellie told us, like, this is starting to wear on me.
Right.
Like, I'm facing the possibility of being alone without my family in this time where I'm also getting kind of tapped out from running to the Ma'amad.
Yes,
getting tapped out from the possibility that I could. And then again, the decisive nature of like what the situation needs, like do something.
Right. And this is where it really changes, and where I think kind of the road splits a little bit, where for some people it's the notion of I have to make a statement. And I have to, whatever I decide is going to be my statement about what is right and what is wrong. And I feel like for most of us in these situations, it's not a statement. It's, this is what I'm doing for my family. This is what's right for me. This is what's right for my son. And I'm not telling everybody else, the rest of the world, what you guys should do. Yeah, we're just doing this.
This was the original plan also. I was always gonna come back for Pesach. Like, and also I like a lot of people in Shiva like to use like, I gotta escape. I gotta like get out. And like you were saying before, like that's the complete wrong way to look at it. We're not trying to get out and not trying to like leave. Like this is Israel's home.
Yeah, the idea is to also the second he can get a flight back is to go back and hopefully ride out the rest of the year under the greatest of circumstances that, you know, Israel's more secure than it was, and the people of Israel can finally rest and get some just comfort from what has been a tumultuous period of time.
So at what point do you make the decision to say, okay, we're going to go through Egypt? Like, how do you get to that point?
Okay, so I will say I was very clear that I did not want to go through Egypt.
Okay. When we were talking like a couple days or weeks before, it was like all these parents are crazy. We're sending their kids through Egypt.
I was literally
so you were very decisive.
So judgmental. I was so judgmental. I was like, these parents are nuts. It's so dangerous. Do you know what kind of country Egypt is? How are they putting their kids in such a like crazy situation, like all crazy, and then and I was like, we're not sending him through Egypt, and my wife was like, I think we need to send him through Egypt, and I was like, yes, we're gonna.
I mean, we have a good track record at this time of year of leaving Egypt, so I feel like that jives a little bit. So how did that happen?
Funny enough, the yeshiva pivoted from this week of like this is supposed to be Poland week, this is supposed to be Yom Liyam week.
Yeah.
And they were getting advice from, you know, the Central Command in Israel that don't do the Yom Liyam. We can't, you know, whatever, stay next to the Ma'amad, or you can go to Eilat where it's relatively quiet. So they did, right?
Yeah, we were in Eilat for a couple of days. It was really nice, actually.
It sounds like that helped you, you know, get closer to Sharm el-Sheikh.
Yeah, right. So that's why we brought him back to Mevaseret.
It's a Jews in the desert going in circles.
Yes.
Like, oh.
Yeah, go for it.
It was really crazy. I mean, because I was in Eilat. I was literally like 5-10 minutes from the border, from the hotel I was at, and then drove 5 hours back to yeshiva, and then get a call an hour later that I have to pack my bag because I'm going to Egypt the next day, and that's where.
So you found out you're going the next day.
Yeah, that was a little part of the craziness.
I'll say this: that again, it's super. Again, I have to start with this. Now that you've heard like what we got to get to this point, I really can't judge anybody for what they do or don't do. And yes, my thought process was to be decisive. I would not judge anyone or fault anyone for not being decisive. But I was in touch with, once my wife said, we're going to send him through Egypt, I started looking at a couple places. There's these services that I guess people talk about, these concierge type services that like take you through and escort you through, and it's, you know, but it is so expensive.
Right.
It is incredibly expensive. But again, once we just had decided that we were doing this for Ellie's spirit, for his, you know, for his mental health, for, you know, the just that good feeling that we'll all have when we're together, and that's the goal for right now. So it really became about where do we get a spot, and that was not simple.
And that was not simple either.
And the truth is, after finding out that it was full, the flight was full, there are no more spots, and maybe next week check back, I just decided to like text one of these
you texted
WhatsApp.
Bruce Blakeman, did you?
Yeah, well, like Bruce got me. Yeah, Bruce and I are on first name basis.
Paro.
Wow. No, I literally texted one of the organizers of these trips, and he said, we just got 2 cancellations. So if you want this, then, you know, get on this. There's only 2 times in my life where it was like that. It was getting him onto a trip to Israel, from Israel to America, and when Mordechai Ben David tickets opened up, senior, you know, these are the only 2 times that I've ever had to act that fast.
Uh-huh.
So once that was the case, it was really like contacting Ellie and going, you got to pack, and you're in for a really trying journey.
To be honest, I didn't even know Egypt was on the table at all when they called me. I thought they had found they got me on one of these rescue planes or whatever, and then I heard I was going to Egypt the next day. So that was
So how does this unfold? So you go to Egypt, and like presumably you guys are in touch. You're on the phone.
You probably don't
tracking.
Just go you just don't go to Egypt.
No, you
don't.
don't.
No.
There is like a process of getting to Egypt.
One does not simply go to Egypt.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Talk about how.
Yeah. So I mean. So I mean, I packed. I was up late, not that late, but I was up late that night, packing and getting ready and putting all my stuff together.
Oh, someone mentions. By the way, your son's going to Egypt. Make sure he has like $500 American cash on him.
Oh, wow.
We're like,
Just in case.
There's no money left from what we just
Wait,
spent.
they didn't say, he's going to Egypt? I have an Amazon package to give you.
On the way to Egypt,
For my
a small
cousin.
package.
It's just small.
You squeeze in. It's Ahava product. Please. It's just Dead Sea mud.
Okay.
No, I was like, why? They're like, well, he's going to have to bribe people.
Oh.
Like, this was not in the flyer.
Do you know how to bribe people?
I don't. Thankfully, I didn't have to deal with that. But
Okay.
Also, like, it's incredibly difficult at 11 o'clock at night, Israel time, to get him, any
I've heard
kind
that
of American
the
cash.
banks are open for like 9 to 10 o'clock in the morning in Israel.
So shout out to my best friend, Yair Moskowitz. He went out in the middle of the night,
awesome.
drove out through the war to drop off like $200 cash.
So this is not like when you're signing your kid up for camp. Would you like to put $300 in their
his
canteen
canteen.
for Egypt bribery?
Right, exactly. Can you bribe your counselors to treat you nicer?
Ellie, whatever you don't use, you must bring back to me.
You lose it.
Gift shops.
It's terrifying. I mean, it really is such a terrifying thing. But the mandate was get to Yerushalayim by 9 a.m.
No, it was earlier. I was supposed to be. We were leaving at 8, I think.
8:30 or whatever. So
Yeah,
I had to be in front of Magen David Dome.
Right.
Ominous.
Oh God! Yeah.
This is going to have to get cut out of the podcast because it's really controversial. But at what point do you sign up as a Mossad agent?
Right, because he's going through all these countries.
Right.
I'm saying you might as well collect intelligence while
Honestly,
you're
yeah.
going through
Take a
this.
look around, take some
Real
notes,
quick,
pictures.
could you
Right. Just
collect
while you're
intelligence?
there.
While you're there, could you
They briefed you before you went? Like,
Yeah, for
other
sure.
things
It was in
you
the
can and
van.
can't do, no pictures.
No
Oh.
pictures.
You want to talk about that?
I mean, they honestly didn't say anything about pictures. They said don't do other things, but I mean, I don't know. I have a bunch of pictures and videos.
Okay.
I was having a great time.
And here you have it, folks.
That's right. Okay. Anyway,
We don't follow rules.
we will post that on our Instagram. All your pictures.
Although I did see people get in trouble for trying to take pictures and videos while they were
when
going
you
through
say
the border.
trouble, do you mean they were arrested and thrown in a
It
jail?
was more
and never
like
to be
some
seen again?
scary-looking Egyptian dude came over and said, "Delete that now."
Wow, that's scary. Okay.
Okay, that's scary enough.
That-
I'll take that.
there it
That's-
is.
yeah.
That's the PSA.
So then you bribed him, and then you're good.
Right.
Hey, you
Exactly.
$5.
Right.
So you get to Yerushalayim 9 o'clock. Then what happens?
Food.
Yeah. So the dude was it Shimshi.
Yeah.
Shimshi.
Shimshi.
Shout out Shimshi. He was
Shimmy.
awesome. Shimmy.
Yes.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Shimmy. He was really great. He was very nice, very comfortable with the whole thing, and he gave us a lot of food, a lot of pastries and stuff, and we got sandwiches also, which is good. I had brought food also, but whatever, it wasn't a lot, so the sandwiches were nice.
This is a typical yeshiva
did the food
description
have-
here, by the way. Like, good food. Good food on our rescue mission to Israel.
Did the bread have time to rise?
Oh,
Okay,
that's
anyway,
good.
Keep going. Yeah.
And then we started the 4.5-hour drive to Eilat. We stopped once along the way, just like a stopover, and then we got to the border. Finally got to the border. We got out, had to walk to it. It wasn't that far. It was like a couple minutes, and then
But that's something that, like, again, starts to set in the severity of what's happening here. Israeli vans that are driven by Israeli
Right.
drivers are not allowed to
go.
cross through the border
Wow.
in the car. You've got to get out, take your bag, and walk through
Right.
the border.
Wow.
Now, the whole time, John was saying I was tracking Ellie and watching his face, on the Find My app, just progress.
Sponsored by the Mossad.
Sponsored by
Yeah.
the-
right.
Just moving incrementally. And according to the schedule, it's supposed to take an hour, but they budget 2 hours max to cross the border.
I think it took 2.5 hours total
Really?
to get moving from the border. It was
What
really
took so
crazy.
long?
So I have no idea because I was with two ex-IDF or maybe IDF soldier or ex-soldiers they were armed, and they had ins with literally every single person working there, and it was crazy because there's 9 different desks. I don't know what's happening at each one, but it didn't matter because the guards would go up, pay them $500, and we'd all walk through no problem.
Wow.
Which was crazy. Really, that's what we're paying for. Basically, it's I would not have been able to do this myself at all, or
Wow.
it was that's what it was.
Going from bureau to bureau to bureau, advancing slowly.
Yeah, and because for some reason they Also, it felt so unofficial. I don't know why. Maybe because we were bribing them, but like it just like nothing felt like actually was happening.
Well,
It was
you don't
just,
usually
What's an
record-
official
you don't-
sign that said bribes here?
you don't record it on
funny,
your.
actually.
Department of Bribes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh my
I mean,
God.
like there was a dude that like wrote and like highlighter on a piece of like lined paper, like it was VIP tours, and he was holding up VIP tours, like he was waiting for us to get his bribe, and then we were gonna go through.
Okay.
I don't know, whatever. Like they were scanning our passports or something like that at every station, so like that took a little bit, but
How many people were with you?
it was we had like two vans that were with us, like the Mercedes, not that big vans, and
Sponsored.
yeah. It was like 12 people in one, and then like I think it was like a family of like 15 in the other. It
Wow.
was like
30-something people.
yeah,
Okay.
It was probably like
Being
30.
smuggled over the.
Yeah, and again, that's the whole thing. Like all this language of like, is it smuggling? Is it bribing? Is it official? Is it not official? Is it VIP? Is it not VIP? Concierge. All these things are like part of the calculus that makes all of this super confusing and super scary to parents. And again, like if a parent is not willing to go through this, there's no judgment. It's terrifying. I wouldn't recommend. I still wouldn't recommend. I think it was that half hour that he mentions that like it was supposed to take 1 hour, and they budgeted 2, but it took 2.5.
Right.
For that half hour, I was not like a human being. I was a mess. I was a mess, pacing back and forth. What could this be?
That explains that meeting that we
Yeah, I was
had,
really-
and you were
I was
being really weird.
mean. I was really
You were
just
really
a
weird.
bad
that day.
human being for 30 minutes.
Okay.
But like on a real level, it's like, wait, like what are the possibilities? Of
What were
I
you-
could
like,
be
yeah, what were
confronting?
you
What are the
nervous
possibilities?
about?
Yeah, correct. What could I be possibly confronting right now? Could I be the parent of somebody whose child is not getting through? Is he able to get back? Okay. If he's able to get back, fine. I'd be fine with that. If he's not able to, is he being detained? Do we have an international incident?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a hostage situation? Like all of those questions are like, most of them are not rational
Right.
because again, like no,
But that's anxiety,
They've done
right.
this 200 other times,
Right.
And they've done this successfully. Well, why isn't this one going smoothly though?
Right.
So, I guess back to the Emunah and Bitachon, question. You put everything in God and you go, this is my effort. I'm meant to do my effort. So, God, you please do the rest. We're looking at the timetable of like, you're at the Taba border for half an hour longer than you're supposed to. You still have a 3-hour drive
Right.
through the Sinai Desert to get to Sharm el-Sheikh. And then who knows what security there is like, but he's got to get to this flight. Right now, he's scheduled to be there 3 hours before. We just ate half an hour. Do they stop him from taking his flight at that point? Is he too deep into Egypt?
Right.
Wow.
Is your phone working the entire time?
So my phone was working through the border, which was nice.
Okay.
And then the service cut out for the 3-hour drive. Which
Such a great time. So much fun, guys.
Yeah, going
Because
into
now
Egypt. Yeah, no-
my beautiful
no
boy's
communication.
face is just stopped in the middle of the Sinai Desert, surrounded by, I want to say, lots of Arabic.
So I understand
On the map.
I understand your anxiety, but the more important question is like, what do you do without YouTube for 3 hours?
Right. And Rabbi, I feel like you're making this a lot about him, but there's there's a story here to tell about my pain. No, it was just like I said. That's the part I would say is like you're just full of anxiety at that point.
Yeah.
Why? Why am I doing this? Like,
Right.
was this necessary? Like, and by the way, this chat does not stop. So we're still getting like
Right.
minute by minute pings of like, my son just got a direct flight to JFK to Newark. And you're like, oh, direct flight. That's cool.
that sounds
So
nice.
okay, so you cross the border,
Yeah.
and you're on the road, and you have no cell phone reception.
What was that drive like?
The drive was really crazy. So
What was crazy?
Because the border took so long. My flight was I think at 9:00, and at this point, when they left it we only got to leave at 4:00, which was a lot later than we were supposed to, and it was supposed to be like a 3-hour drive. So I don't know how long this airport takes. I don't know what the processes are. If there's another 20 stations for no reason, I was worried I was going to miss my plane. And I didn't want to deal with that reality of waiting in Sharm el-Sheikh for however long until we can get another flight. So that was pretty nerve-wracking, and the driver knew that. At this point, the guards have left, by the way. So it's just completely.
That's
There are no Israeli guards
detail.
with you.
No,
There
there's
are
no Israeli
It's just
guards
you
with
at this
it.
point.
It's me,
but
few of the guys in the car that we moved into, and
Right.
then the Egyptian driver.
And who even knows? You're getting to an airport, like we're taking for granted that this is a normal airport.
Right.
Like here, everybody fetches like, have you seen Newark?
Right.
It's such a mess.
LaGuardia is a dump.
Yeah.
Right? No, this is not even that at all.
Yeah.
That's not even the issue. It's more just like you said, there isn't any more, like, I guess the escort is the people that the company,
Right.
like,
Their
works
job
with.
is to bring you
and
through
they
the border.
work with these people, and they have established a relationship and trust them, over the course of, like, again, 200 of these runs.
Right.
They've successfully gotten them to Sharm el-Sheikh. But, like, there isn't, like, an Israeli escort at that point. So that's important to just say.
It's scary.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And so
I was also not aware of that. So when I found out the guards were not coming with us, I was like, oh,
right.
Okay, now I have to fight for myself. I have to bribe people myself with
Right.
like,
maybe or maybe not.
$200
right?
I have left.
And then the driver understood the assignment.
Yeah, so he knew he asked like what time our flight was, and then he started driving 90 miles per hour nonstop.
Ooh, that's
Wow. In
entire
English.
time.
He spoke English?
He's a couple words. Like, I think he knew exactly the words for the situation.
Was he Egyptian? Or
yeah.
Oh,
Full
okay.
on, yeah.
Full on.
Yeah.
Apparently he was reliable. That's what
And
they told
sure.
us. Didn't make me feel better.
But then you saw the accident.
Yes.
Oh.
So first of all, he was also like just weaving in and out of traffic, cutting up it looked like these like roads in like I don't know where it's
The Van Wyck. It looked like the Van Wyck.
just like.
Okay.
it's just like empty roads, and it's like there's
2 lanes.
Yeah, it's 2 lanes of traffic, one this way, one that way, and I couldn't tell which. I thought they were both going straight at some point.
He had rights to both.
Yeah, he was driving literally all over the place. And like every 30 minutes or so, there'd be another like security terminal, and he would just stop, like say a couple words to them, and then we'd be off. So that wasn't too
But
bad.
each one of those is like, again.
Like, I don't know what's happening.
Right.
They're gonna search me.
Right.
They're gonna take my passport. I don't know what's happening. And then we like slowed down, and there's this like literally happened 2 minutes before we got there. It looked like this really crazy, terrible crash. Not with any people from our group, but like 2 random Egyptians. Like it was a head-on collision.
Oh my God.
Really bad. And like I don't know what graphic I'm allowed to get, but like it didn't look good. It didn't look good.
Tell us afterwards.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm like so like out of it. I'm like, oh okay, and like he literally like, our driver just started honking a little bit, and like one of the cars moved out of the way, and then we just like kept it going, and like that was
One of the
it.
cars that had gotten in the accident moved out of the way?
I don't
Or
know.
those people
No,
were dead?
no. It was like I think it was like a cop car or something like that. It was
Okay.
it moved slightly out of the way so we could get by.
Oh,
It was-
you honk at police in Egypt. I
Yeah.
see. Okay.
I didn't ask questions.
Okay.
Also set the scene. It was raining hail.
Yeah. So then that was
Hailing.
also
Hailing?
crazy.
In Egypt?
In Egypt?
Okay.
Yes. It was that was
remember
the
that
craziest thing.
Throwback.
It was literally the craziest thing.
Retro.
As we were going through the border, it was like drizzling a little bit.
Okay, 1 second. Was the fire inside the hail?
Yeah, please tell
On
us.
the outside of the hail?
there's no-
There's a lot of machlokas about this.
It did sound like it was huge though. We were getting like it sounded like the car was like the windows
Being
were gonna
pelted.
break. Like
Okay.
it was crazy. And like yeah, so it was drizzling before, and then the rain slowly got heavier and heavier and heavier. And then like it was also getting like darker. Like it's nighttime now, so like
Choshech is sad.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You're just praying
We saw Malcolm
like
before it, actually.
no death of the first floor.
He's the first You just experienced Makos Bechoros in the car.
He
Yeah,
was driving through, it's hailing, and that's when the Hans Zimmer soundtrack started.
Okay.
And you knew that stuff was happening.
Okay.
yeah, and like yeah, it was pouring.
You went through
pouring
Yam
rain.
Suf already, or
No, we're getting to that. We're getting to that. Hail and like it was insane. So I can barely see. It's just the driver's lights.
Right.
And he's still driving 90, and he didn't learn anything from the car accident. He's
Oh.
still driving as fast as he wants, and both the lanes are his, and whatever else is great. And it was just like I was also exhausted at that point because like it was a long day. I woke up early. I went to sleep late, and like
You got there at
I barely
8:30.
slept.
You got there at 8:30, and it's already 7.
yeah,
Right,
I
same
woke up
day.
early to daven. And
you
like,
had good food apparently. You told
Yeah,
us that
the
before,
sandwiches
but
were
it's
good.
probably running out at this
Yeah,
point.
by the way,
Yeah.
that's the other part. There's no other station at this
And you have no idea where he is at this point. No clue.
None.
And you're just whatever going. Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, it felt like 5 years the drive. To be honest, that was probably the craziest part of the trip because I was just like of the scariest part that I've been through of all like the border and seeing everything was probably just the drive. Like I was worried I wasn't going to survive this drive, and finally after what felt like 5 years we got there, and I don't know how long this is going to take. So I'm in like rush mode right now. And they warned Shimmy warned us before that like the people that like in Egypt at the airport are gonna try and like take your bags, gonna try and ransom you, or gonna like do things for you and like demand tips afterward. So we get there at the wrong terminal, and
that always has to happen. I'm saying no matter what country you're in.
It's never that easy.
No.
And the trunk, he opens up the trunk like a normal driver, right? And these two people are waiting with like the luggage carts, and they're unloading our stuff onto these luggage carts, right?
And you're sitting there like, Ransom.
Like I'm like getting a little uncomfortable. So I go there, and one of my luggage is still in the car, so I grab that, and then he's like holding my bag, so I just like grabbing it from him, and he starts getting a little upset because like he's trying to. What they do is they got other people on our trip. They like took their bags on the cart and they literally start running with it. They're helping you, but they're running with your bag, and they're gonna demand money afterward. And like American cash is like gold for them. Like it's worth like truckloads of whatever currency there is. And I was literally just like a little tug of war match with my bag with this guy, and there were two of them, and so like they were just like the only English word they know is money. So they were just like money, 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 and he was literally poking my stomach. He was just like trying to get anything, and I was like, at this point I was like so fed up. I was just like, I had no problem grabbing it from him. But I mean, they got some of the other people on our trip, and they got upset with them, and it's weird because everybody knows everybody in the airport. So like once they had like, I think they paid him like not only like $5 or whatever, and they were expecting a lot more for carrying all their bags to the other terminal. And he went to the security desk and like whispered and like pointed at them. So I don't know if that means that their bag is getting blown up or something like that, but whatever. It's just all nerve-wracking. And so, I mean, everyone seemed to be a lot more chill than I was at this point. Because like everyone's like, all right, whatever, this is so nice, we're here. And I'm like, we need to get on this plane right now. And I was they told us not to dress so religiously, which makes a lot of sense.
I was thinking about that, about wearing a kippah or a hat.
So whatever, I wore like sweatpants and a hoodie and like a baseball hat. And like everyone else on our trip
inconspicuous.
What?
There's no way he's Jewish.
No,
what team?
We tricked.
He's like,
I'm wearing a
hurricane sweatshirt.
And sits us all the way down to the floor because
nobody else got that text message because like everyone else was like 4 years older than me, if like in the mirror, like some other enemy sheevish places, and everyone was wearing like black suit, white shirt
with a Yankees hat, right?
Yes,
it's Holoid Pesach, man, baseball game.
They think like the Yankee hat makes it so that they're not Jewish anymore. Like everybody can tell.
That's so funny. Could you just
in my eyes, by the way,
Yankee hat on, and it's like, where's the Jew?
I just want you to know, in my eyes, it's
pull the Yankee hat off. I see him. That's the Jew.
I was about to say that. Clark Kent. That's what it is.
In my eyes, as a Met fan, it's true.
Wow.
Okay. Anyway, so you're wearing your Los Angeles Dodgers hat where you got Shohei Ohtani and Edwin Diaz. Thanks so much. Whatever. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I was like, whatever. They were very honest about it.
It is funny, like to where you're trying to do whatever it is to like be low key, and your friend is wearing a Nana Nachman kippah and dancing on the baggage claim, and like, bud, could you just?
Not the time.
It's like, have you put on tefillin today? Not here though. Not here though.
Okay.
It was nuts. So I was like booking it to the thing. Oh, this was also part of the problem because they all had like kosher phones or whatever. Nobody had WhatsApp or Gmail, which was a big problem because they had no way of getting their boarding passes.
Oh my god.
We're sponsored by kosher phones, so be careful with that.
Yeah, we love kosher phones.
But that like
we'll take everybody's money.
Yeah.
Boarding passes are pretty important, and I was the WhatsApp guy because I was the only one who had a normal phone.
Oh.
So
he's not Jewish. He's wearing the hat.
Right.
I mean, he went through Egypt and abandoned Israel. He's not Jewish. It's fine. Okay. Yeah.
He's the shimmy of the beer guys.
Yes,
we got Ellie. It's
okay.
Ellie's our shimmy.
I mean, it was Pikuach Nefesh. You could use a WhatsApp. It's okay. Whatever.
Maybe.
With the Shino.
With the Shino.
Okay.
But yeah, I was holding 3 people's boarding passes, so it was really annoying because on the one hand I wanted to like rush as fast as I can through it. The other hand, I had to wait for these people because they needed me to actually get through, and I wasn't gonna abandon them. So that was just another stress. And like for some reason, there's like 2 different securities at Sharm el-Sheikh, and it's like you get in, and there's like a big security with all your big bags before you even check in, and like it's just unnecessary. Like there's like 9 different steps that like a ton of different stations, and it's just like they're just filling jobs or something. Like I don't know why there doesn't need to be this many steps.
Like a redundancy just to employ more people. In the airport. I will say at this point he does come back online.
Yeah.
Once he's at the airport.
Oh.
And like a series of texts, but I'm trying not to worry him or whatever. But
I was very surprised I didn't have like 20 missed calls.
Yeah, but I was really trying. But like he was saying, like not through security yet. Not sure it's gonna. Still worried about my flight. Kind of like I was like, okay, putting on the brave face, you'll be fine.
Right.
Meanwhile, what's echoing in my mind is that the night before we didn't tell my parents, we didn't tell my in-laws. We didn't want to worry them unnecessarily. It's enough that the two of us are burdening. We didn't even tell our other children.
You didn't even tell me.
And I didn't tell you.
Yeah.
I was really trying hard.
Selfish.
But what was funny was the night before, my mom is like, she calls me and she's like, I'm so worried about Ellie and how is he going to be back?
Like,
we have to do something. We have to do something. And she's like, some people are getting through Europe and doing all kinds of connections. Can you do that for him? And I'm like, we're trying. And meanwhile, I've already paid for this ticket through Egypt. And my dad, off camera,
Whatever you do, don't go through Egypt.
literally, that's literally what he says. Because my dad was born in Egypt, and he was like, that place is terrible. Don't do it. Send him to every place in the world, but not through Egypt.
It's really funny.
I'm literally going like, okay, thanks, Dad. Yeah, no, that's good. That's good advice. And I appreciate that. He's like, they're so corrupt. They'll do terrible things to anybody if you don't give them money. I'm like, yeah, no, that sounds bad. I'm going to get off the phone now. I love you both very much.
Oh my God.
I was like, and the whole time, like that I can't talk to him, that voice, my dad's voice is just echoing in my head. But he made it through the 2 sets of security.
Yeah, finally.
And sent us this beautiful picture of him and his friend like sitting at the terminal. So
After that, he got arrested because he took a picture.
exactly. By the way, that also I'm like, oh, this is so relief. Oh my God, you took a picture.
They're like Hudson News in Egypt.
So he then he had like another. It was. I mean, again, it's not. Again, yes, there's a temporary relief, but he still has to get through Rome.
Right.
He's getting to Rome in the middle of the night, and that's like it was a full
You went
5-hour
through
flight.
all the stages of Gullus. Of
Yeah.
Chag.
Just about- think about that.
I was
Gullus.
at Rome also.
He went
You
Egypt,
just didn't go to
Rome, right? Exactly. He had a layover in Pumbedita, and then it was just. I mean, again, like when he gets to Rome, there's a full night of,
That was
there's-
also a really annoying part. It was
You met with the Pope?
No.
Well, yeah, he had to-
Landed at 12:40. My flight was at 10:15, so I had like literally 9 hours.
And you have
of
like no food also.
dead time. I had like some like literally whatever the mock had, like cookies or crackers or something like that.
Crackers.
Yeah.
Basically nothing. There was like one store open that
I heard
sold drinks.
Friday
but-
crackers are Lafa. That's what I
Right.
heard. Okay.
It was amazing. Literally, again, as I'm still waiting for him to get back from Rome, and like somebody in school is like, Europe might be more dangerous than Egypt. People hate Jews in Europe. I'm like, yeah, I've heard that.
That's helpful.
I feel
Thanks.
like I might have said that.
No,
I'm
you
sorry.
didn't say
Nice.
I didn't know. I
You
had
didn't
no
say it.
idea.
It's so funny. Again, people are so well-meaning. And
I mean,
they don't know. You don't know what the person you're.
Your
talking
father
to.
talks about Egypt that way. That's how my grandparents talked about Europe. Okay,
100%,
whatever. Okay.
100%. So, and then even then, it was like another 10.5-hour flight from Rome.
God.
I think the first thing you said to me, which was, was an incredible revelation, was when he finally landed at JFK, he's like, that was 4 continents in 30 hours.
It was cool.
That is
Wow.
4
Yeah, I knew you were
continents.
going to say cool. For some reason, you think it's cool.
Yeah,
Us,
all these things
it's
are cool.
40-year-olds
Right.
and John, who's
Right.
whatever age John is.
Yeah.
Advanced. You think it's cool. For us, I'm hearing the anxiety from your father. I'm very impressed because as a Sephardi Jew, the anxiety is not really your thing. That's our thing. But you seem to
I
be
promise
culturally
you, this was
appropriating
something-
it for
yeah,
you.
I'm culturally appropriating everything.
Okay.
I just, again, was just, there was something about this that felt different and
Nerve-wracking.
nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But again, it was an incredible thing to hear that it was, yes, it's Asia, Africa, Europe,
It's
and
crazy.
then North America on a 30-hour journey, 40 hours.
40
Okay,
hours.
4 continents in 40 hours. That's the name of the podcast now. And,
You're renaming our podcast?
no, just the episode.
We're
Okay,
selling
fine.
the
Okay,
naming
fine.
rights. Although I do like that as an episode title.
Just
Fair enough.
just sponsored.
Were you on the Titanic also?
We were just trying to hit
That was a layover option, actually.
That was a layover option.
I will say this, having gone through the entirety of the experience, and again, just having Ellie with us,
Yeah.
seeing the reaction of the reunion with his siblings and what it did for us, as
Right.
the parents, just to breathe a sigh of relief. I think we could have breathed that same relief if he was okay with going to friends of ours in Israel
Right.
or whatever, just to know that he was taken care of.
Right. I think that, like we talked about that in the beginning, is that when you are in a regular program in Israel, you're going through the regular day-to-day and you're confident that the yeshiva is taking it seriously and taking care of them. And now when people are off from yeshiva, I'm sure the yeshiva is taking care of those kids, but you're still worried about them, and they're boys and they, act like boys sometimes. You're concerned. And here, your relief is he's with you. It doesn't mean that he's not in his homeland, but this is what you wanted, to be together as a family.
Yeah. I guess I would just encourage people as much as possible. You don't know what that person next to you in shul is going through, and the conflicts and the discrepancies between what the spouse wants and what they want, and you don't know whose feelings are completely inflamed by what is happening or not happening, decisive, not decisive. And while you're well intentioned and you find out that the son or the daughter is at home in seminary or not home here in New York for Pesach, the questions have to be done with the utmost sensitivity. And maybe I would just suggest not. Let them talk about it if they want to. But, so they're stuck in Israel?
Right.
Let's just get rid of that language. You didn't want to try to bring them home? Why didn't, they must be really lonely. Or it's well-intentioned, but you don't know what kind of pain you're opening up and what kind of anxiety you're triggering. So again, really, there's no judgment. Whatever anybody decides to do is whatever they decide to do. This was what we thought made the most sense.
It sounds like whatever they decide to do, their wife changes that decision.
Yes.
They do that.
Right.
Yeah, do that.
But I think it's an individual decision. You're addressing the bigger question, and that is this thing that is taking over social media because we have nothing else to talk about right now, not anti-Semitism and all the other things.
Or the war.
Or the war. Right. But we are Jews. We like to focus on the keys that are dangling. What do you think about that when you're seeing all of this big talk on social media, and even the podcasts that are addressing it and are saying it's so terrible? We're talking about it as an individual family decision, not about I'm leaving Israel. It's about I want to be with my child on Pesach, and this is the way we are going about doing it. It wasn't our plan A. We're not escaping Israel. That's not how we're going to verbalize it.
Right.
How do you how do you think about those things?
It's the same way I feel about why haven't I made Aliyah? Why aren't we living in Israel? It's the same exact thing. That's the same guilt.
Right.
In terms of why are we not there? How many of our ancestors wished they had the option to just drive 15 minutes to JFK and get on a plane? How easy it is. It's the same for me. The only difference here is that once the option of getting him home became an imperative in terms of just Ellie's well-being, that was it. But I completely feel I feel so much pain and guilt about all the people who don't have this. Not that they don't have it as an option; they could, but they're living in Israel. Right. That's their reality, and their kids have no choice but to respond to the Mamad and the Sirens.
Right. It is. I will tell you.
And the trauma.
We've talked to our families in Israel. Even though we use that word trauma, I think they are living this experience with meaning and purpose. We spoke to my sister and my nephew a few weeks ago, and there's an emunah, there's this incredible bitachon that we are lacking here in the States, and it's an incredible thing. This maybe you could speak to. In the beginning of the war, is it feels like a messianic situation.
At least the difference from me experiencing the wars in Israel before, October 7th and after, and experiencing it in Israel now, it's a completely different world. From seeing, I was on these news channels, seeing these crazy videos of literally things going through the air and things getting shot up, and seeing things in Mevaseret over my in real time, seeing red dots over my head, it feels so much more real. And having to actually go to the mamad yourself, it's a completely different feeling. And like it gave me like a much new perspective on it, that like this is real, and like it really is like the Iron Dome is like a crazy thing. Like how on earth does this actually intercept missiles? And like the considering how much we get barraged every single day, like to have only like have days go by without anything actually landing, and then having like one or two here and there, it's just like it's really, really crazy.
We had a pretty amazing conversation before you left, even just that while you were experiencing running to the mamad and the siren, that low terrifying drone of like the siren kicking up and run and knowing you have this much time to run, you have the ability to say imo anochi betzara. You understand what it's like to lift the burden that your fellow Jew has had to lift, and you're going to have this point of reference it feels like that was a terrifying but like also meaningful time that I was there with my fellow Jews in Israel experiencing this. I remember like growing up hearing stories about like the Iraq-Kuwait conflict.
Sure.
And going like, Scud missiles and Patriot and Patriot missiles and like gas masks. What is gas mask?
I got a gas mask in Yeshiva. Really? We never had to use it, but yeah.
Yeah, just like to understand like I was very removed from it. Yeah. Terrifying. It sounded terrifying. Yeah. But for him to actually be there and experience it and be able to rest, it is an interesting point that people made, that this generation, this specific generation, went through COVID, went through that, made it through, hearing about October 7th and like how that changed the world, and then this experience.
And it's interesting. And boys only slightly older than him are taking on the massive burden of defending Am Yisrael in Israel, and flying these incredible missions day after day after day with incredible precision. It's really remarkable, and it's this resilience that really builds it up.
And I'll say this, I only had the experience for, hours of like tracking my son, not knowing where he is, what is exactly his well-being. You said it perfectly. There's 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds that are flying F-35s through the sky in Tehran.
Right. Yeah.
And there is no tracking for that. And they are...
So what are the mothers of those people, right?
What are those parents feeling? Like, it's all such a relative speck on these, in the range of emotions that we can feel. What we have to feel is compassion. Yes. What we have to feel is, as much as we can experience, and maybe podcasts like this help also to like just imo anochi betzara. What can I do to actually put myself in that place of feeling what my brothers and sisters are feeling, and again, anything that you could do to reach out without badgering questions and pestering and why
my
not.
My younger sister said it best, curiosity. Like how's your day? What's it going on? Exactly. Things like that is the best.
Thinking about you.
Right.
I was just, wondering how you're doing, and, just wish we could be there with you.
Right.
That's our work that we can do, to just reach out with kindness and curiosity and support.
I imagine you're itching to get back, and when I say back, not to Egypt,
right?
Back to Mevaseret.
Yeah, I really hope so. I know American has already canceled flights through June, and Delta maybe also the same. But hopefully things calm down, or hopefully that something is able to fly through. I'm definitely not going back through Egypt.
I heard you can get a flight sneak you through Mexico through the border and then like fly.
I think he's just trying to get to every continent.
Yeah.
Would you go to China? Or North Korea next time, maybe.
I hear it's nice.
I don't appreciate any of this.
I've heard North Korea, your cell phone turns off and never turns back on.
All right, you guys, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for spending time with us and taking the time and for telling the story. Yeah, absolutely. And we look forward to hearing, what happens and if you're able to go back and how that ends up working out. But for the time being, we're happy to have you here. I'm sure your parents and your sisters are happy to have you here as well.
And like every office person in HANC is also very happy to have you.
That's true.
Yes, you definitely lowered the
it's mostly
anxiety level.
It's mostly because now Rabbi Hazan could actually do his job.
Exactly. There is work to do.
All right. Well, guys, thank you very much, and wishing you a Chag Kasher Sameach, and hopefully Rabbi Hazan will have you again soon for
thank you.
Hopefully
pleasure.
We want to talk about education.
I would love to. All right.
All right. I hope you enjoyed that interview with Rabbi Ouriel Hazan and his son Eli. I thought it was informative and really interesting to hear their points of view, their takes. We understand that not everybody agrees, and that's okay. It's okay for this to be a debate, a conversation, and something that we can all spend some time as Pesach approaches rapidly. So we're going to take this opportunity to remind everybody to like and subscribe to our podcast. You can follow us on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify, on YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at CarpoolGuysPod and send us an email, carpoolguyspod@gmail.com, if you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or an idea for Dave's question of the week. With that, from Asher Dvoretsky, Dave from Flatbush Tannenbaum, and me, John Ackerman, wishing you a Chag Sameach, a good Yontiv, and wishing you all the best. Talk to you soon.